The episode is set in the year 2023 and begins with a tantalizing advertisement for Lakeview, a digital afterlife being played in a subway. Nora Anthony, an employee of Horizon, the company behind Lakeview, is traveling on the same subway. Her monotonous routine at the workplace leads her to find solace in peppy music, but this small pleasure is swiftly taken by her superior, Lucy, who asks her to focus on the job. Unfazed, Nora puts on a bright smile and warmly welcomes a new member to upload. Meanwhile, Nathan Brown, a computer programmer, is on his way home from Thanksgiving dinner with his family when he makes a stop for grocery shopping. After picking up the essentials, he gets back into his self-driving car. However, his journey takes a horrific turn when the car's AI malfunctions and crashes into an illegally parked truck in the middle of the road, leaving Nathan mortally wounded. He is rushed to the hospital with a sweaty girlfriend, Ingrid Katterman, by his side. As his condition worsens, Ingrid suggests uploading his consciousness to Lakeview so they can be together forever. Nathan is less than enthusiastic about the idea, but puts on a happy face to avoid upsetting Ingrid in his final moments. After confirming that he will still be able to engage in carnal pleasures, he reluctantly agrees to the upload. The uploading process is eventually completed, and Nora is assigned as his human handler, or angel as they are called, to help him adjust to his new life. Initially, Nathan finds Lakeview enjoyable, but he soon discovers that everything comes at a cost, and he needs Ingrid's password for any expenditures. During a call with her, Nathan asks for the password, but Ingrid dismisses his request, unwilling to relinquish her control over him. Frustrated by the restrictions, Nathan contemplates ending it all by jumping into a torrent stream, but is stopped by Nora, who appears virtually before him and talks him out of it. Nathan realizes that Nora is human due to the emotional depth of her speech about life and begins to see her as a friend. As Nora logs out for the day, a folder containing Nathan's corrupted memories opens, as if manipulated remotely, and certain files are deleted. Nathan is enrolled in pack therapy after he attempted fireside the previous day, and is paired with Ernie, a Labrador retriever, through whom the therapist will communicate. Once Ernie learns about Nathan's reasons for trying to throw himself into the torrent, he instructs Nathan to talk to fellow uploads and make friends. At the office, Nora seeks Lucy's approval for an employee discount to help with the uploading of her terminally ill father. She has secured a loan and desperately needs the discount. However, Lucy refuses to grant her request, stating that Nora must achieve a higher customer service rating by the end of her shift, and only then will she consider signing the letter of approval. Feeling dejected, Nora vents her frustration on Nathan, accusing him of being excessively optimistic. So much for the positive ratings. Later, Nathan comes across Nora sitting alone and decides to engage her in conversation. He also mentions to her that it is the day of his funeral. After she leaves, Nathan is on his way back to his room when he encounters David Choke, a wealthy neighbor and fellow upload, with whom he discusses an app that he had been developing with Jamie, his best friend and business partner. However, Nathan cannot recall the app's name and realizes its description bears a striking resemblance to their current reality. David posits that Nathan may have been murdered because his idea offered a free alternative to the reality they were in, threatening the multi-billion-dollar company. Distraught by his inability to recall such vital information, Nathan reaches out to Nora and shares the incident with her, pondering if his memory was damaged. To test his memory, Nora sings a popular song, and Nathan effortlessly recalls the lyrics. When Nora is back in her office during a break, she discusses Nathan's damaged memory files with a colleague. Throughout the day, Nathan observes Nora struggling to achieve a 5-star rating and decides to give her multiple 5-star ratings himself. Nora appreciates the gesture and opens up about her struggles at work, her father's illness, and her inability to find true love. Feeling relieved after having someone to talk to, Nora leaves, and once back home, she views the footage showing Jamie and Nathan exiting a business meeting after pitching their idea, when a man named Josh Pitzer rushes after them, inquiring if they have shared the idea with anyone else. Nathan responds that only their families and his girlfriend are aware of their concept. Josh urges them not to share the idea further, as he is interested. Suddenly, a reminder of Nathan's funeral appears on the screen. Meanwhile, in the real world, Fran, Nathan's cousin, is conducting an investigation into the accident. Upon inspecting the car, she discovers signs of tampering as the car's memory doesn't remember the accident. It is the day of the funeral and Nathan is getting ready, expecting many people to attend. Before the funeral, Nathan and Ingrid, who was with them at the time, witness a historic moment on television called Download, where a person's consciousness is downloaded into a clone body. Rupert Tilford is the man chosen for the experiment, and the download begins. It seems to be working initially, but then things take a turn for the worse as Rupert's nose starts bleeding and his head explodes before any of the scientists can intervene. They decide to focus on the funeral, and Nathan is accompanied by Luke, a fellow upload, and Ingrid's grandmother, both of whom reside in Lakeview. Nora attends the funeral as well, but she stays at a distance and introduces herself as a colleague to Nathan's 3 ex-girlfriends from college, who describe him as a big fish in a pond full of derns. Nathan finds it strange that her best friend Jamie hasn't shown up. What's worse is that most of Nathan's displayed memories involve nudity and him indulging in pleasure at every opportunity. His last memory shows a figure, but it is too blurry to recognize. The priest exacerbates his distress by portraying him as immature. Nathan also encounters his mother, who informs him that although they received his equity shares, the amount was meager because Nathan had not completed his work. When it's time for Ingrid to give a speech, Nathan is taken aback as she speaks about Rupert instead of him. Upon seeing Nathan's discontent, Ingrid threatens to delete him from the upload, reminding him that she controls the account, and accuses him of being ungrateful. With no alternative, Nathan apologizes and continues to feign happiness. After experiencing what she considers the most disheartening funeral for all the wrong reasons, Nora returns home and contacts Josh. She inquires about the project that Nathan and Jamie were working on and learns it is called Beyond. Josh reveals that he was angry when Nathan declined the investment he offered, but insists he never wished any harm upon him. Suddenly, Josh changes his mind and abruptly ends the call, refusing to divulge any more information. Nathan has started to enjoy his laid-back life at Lakeview, and this morning he is enjoying golf with his wealthy fellow upload, David. His enthusiasm grows when David tells him that he never gets bored, having lived a life of purpose, and regards Lakeview as his reward. Nathan shares his wish to work with Nora, so Nora introduces him to 2 gigs, the upload's lowest class, who have a memory of 2 gigs. They cannot afford more, and as a result, they run out of memory and freeze until the following month. After seeing their plight, Nathan makes helping the 2 gigs his purpose, but is interrupted by Ingrid, who reminds him of the Vogue interview they have scheduled. The interview focuses on how humans and uploads maintain their long-distance relationship between 2 existences. Nathan is honest about how their relationship has changed, and even suggests that Ingrid now owns him. However, Ingrid doesn't want anything negative reflected on her and keeps interrupting him. She also claims they will be using the hug suit soon to spice things up between them. Feeling dejected, Nathan confides in Nora and inquires if a modern relationship is possible. Nora believes it, but Nathan isn't so sure about Ingrid and equates their relationship to siblings who hate each other. Having seen her sense the physical aspect, he's uncertain if he wants to use the hug suit with her. The next day, Ingrid surprises Nathan with a hug suit, and Nora witnesses them getting intimate when she clocks in for her shift. She switches off the screen, but Ingrid calls for tech support because Nathan is having trouble maintaining his masculinity firm. Reluctantly, Nora steps in and checks for Nathan's responsiveness by touching him all over after Ingrid gets distracted as she shoos away her cat while her avatar in Lakeview freezes. Nora's touch turns his software into hardware, and the problem is solved before Ingrid returns. That night, to relax her dancing hormones, Nora hooks up with Byron, a guy she had matched with before on a dating app, and imagines Nathan, which earns her a 5-star rating from the guy. Meanwhile, Fran delves deeper into Nathan's accident and finds footage on a CCTV recording of Ingrid tampering with Nathan's car at a convenience store. At Lakeview, another upload named Dylan is frustrated because he still looks like a child and his parents refuse to update his avatar. Nathan has his own issues with Ingrid, and they attempt couples therapy with Ernie, the dog counselor. However, Ingrid brings her own therapist, much to Ernie's displeasure. Ingrid confides to the therapist that she finds Nathan distant, while Nathan counters by claiming Ingrid is controlling. But when Ingrid denies knowing whether Nathan's vitals were improving before he was uploaded, it's the last straw for Nathan, and he leaves the session. As he's passing through the hallway, Nora invites him to join her and Dylan. Together, they have some fun until Nora receives a call from her father, who is in the hospital due to his chronic vape lungs. Fearing he might not survive, he asks to see Nora. Nathan volunteers to take care of Dylan while she's gone and introduces Dylan to Luke, a wealthy veteran and fellow upload. Luke convinces them to accompany him to the gray market, having matched with some real-life women through a dating app. He suggests that they can find a hack in the market that allows them to meet these women in a VR bar. The trio makes their way to the dark web, where they have 1 hour to return, or their existence will be wiped from the upload. They soon reach a bar, and while Luke goes off to see the women, Dylan and Nathan explore and find a stall that shows videos of any possible living person. There, Nathan discovers a video of Jamie trying to sell the idea of their app. Nathan is curious about what's going on, but he has other things to worry about, like Dylan, who has gone missing. He clearly isn't doing a great job with babysitting Dylan. Meanwhile, Nora visits her father at the hospital and talks about Nathan, saying she can count on him for anything. While at the hospital, she decides to meet an expert in the upload section and asks if the memories of the uploads get destroyed in the process. The expert assures her that the machine has nothing to do with memory damage. Nora then inquires about restoring damaged memories, and the doctor provides her with a download card for a trusted app that can restore all kinds of memories. Nathan manages to find Dylan getting a tattoo, which Dylan describes as a puberty power-up, a code that ages his avatar when he wakes up from a nap. They return on time, and Dylan starts feeling sleepy, so Nathan takes Dylan to his room and tucks him in before going to get ready to accompany Luke. As he's running late, Luke heads to the bar alone and meets his date and her friend. At Lakeview, Dylan wakes up and finds balls on his chest instead of the place they should have been. It turns out that Dylan mistakenly got a female puberty tattoo, and Nora immediately rushes to confront Nathan. Nathan apologizes for being careless, but Nora concentrates on Dylan and promises to fix him. Meanwhile, Luke's angel reveals to his date that Luke is an upload, which causes her to throw up. Back on Earth, Fran is en route to meet Josh and calls him to confirm their meeting. While browsing through photos, she spots Jamie in the background of one of Josh's pictures. Subtly, her car's technology malfunctions, locking her in before driving her into the sea. Since Nora's father is in the hospital, she spends time with him through VR. Nathan's niece, Nevaeh, decides to visit him and tells him that Ingrid has agreed to take her for a sleepover. Nathan introduces her to Nora, and Nevaeh instantly takes a liking to her. He invites Nora to watch the sunset together, but she tells him she has a date that evening, leaving Nathan visibly jealous. In the evening, Nora goes on a date with Byron, and for some time, everything goes smoothly. Byron suggests they should talk more before becoming intimate, believing it might help intensify their relationship. Nora brings Byron to her office, but when he continues to refer to the uploads as dead, she takes offense and ends the date early. Meanwhile, bored, Nathan tries calling Jamie, and for once, Jamie picks up, but quickly hangs the call as he is in a meeting with Josh and others. After Byron leaves, Nora realizes that Nathan is still awake and decides to visit him. She shows him her office through a video call, and Nathan finds it amazing as he misses the real world. To cheer him up, Nora activates the stars in Lakeview's sky, and together, they stargaze. While they lay down, Nora tells Nathan about the missing memories and discusses one such memory where he argued with Jamie about their project Beyond and disagreed about selling it. She suspects foul play in Nathan's accident. Things become intense, and they decide to change the subject. Nathan confesses that Nora is his favorite person and that he felt jealous when she mentioned her date. They soon fall asleep, and the next morning, Lucy finds her sleeping next to Nathan. Nora explains to Lucy that she arrived early and accidentally drifted off, promising that it won't happen again. Lucy warns her that if she is ever found in such a state again, her ratings will be negatively affected. Later that morning, she asks Nathan if he could show her father around. Nathan agrees and he takes Nora's father on a tour, sharing his upbringing and his experience living in Lakeview. Meanwhile, an unknown entity plants a bomb in Lakeview's storage facility. In the meantime, Ingrid attends a support group and confesses that she slept with Jamie after she fought with Nathan, as the guilt has been overwhelming her. She plans to deactivate Nathan so she can live her life, and also because she is facing some financial issues. Once back at the office, Nora sees news of Josh's death and decides to snoop into Lucy's computer while she's out for lunch. Nora finds a message indicating that there is proof of Upload's memories being sold on the black market. As she delves deeper, she finds an employee ID, but nothing more than that, and just then, the bomb goes off, blowing up many servers, shutting off the systems at Nora's office, and transforming all the uploads into oversized Pac-Man figures. However, power is quickly restored, and Nora manages to get out of Lucy's office just before she returns. Nora visits Lakeview and asks her father how his tour went, and her father speaks highly of Nathan. After work, Nora leaves with her dad, who expresses his wish that Nora could have met Nathan before he died. He voices his concerns about the potential complexities of their relationship. Despite being impressed by Lakeview, Nora's father decides against the upload, a decision Nora respects, and she asks him to say hi to her mom in heaven. Nathan is going through a broken memory at the memory parlor, which shows an argument between him and Janie, but Nathan cannot seem to recall the reason for their fight. The parlor owner recommends seeing happy memories, and Nathan makes her switch to memory with Nora. The owner notices Nathan calling his angel by her name and questions Nathan about it, but Nathan brushes it off and leaves. As a result, Nora is called in by Lucy and put on probation. Unbeknownst to Nathan, the next time he calls Nora, Lucy appears in Nora's avatar, and Nathan confesses his feelings to her. But Nora rejects him, and an embarrassed Nathan contacts his mom to find him other heavens, as he cannot bring himself to live in Lakeview after the rejection. Nathan's mom gets his existence extracted onto a hard drive, which sends a message to Nora's system about his departure. Nora's coworker sees the message and informs Nora about it. Nora decides to talk to Ingrid about Nathan leaving and flies to LA. Ingrid is equally surprised to hear about Nathan leaving and immediately calls Nathan's mom, inquiring about taking her son heaven shopping without her. While she's busy on the phone, Nora walks around the house and finds a box containing Nathan's belongings. She goes through it and finds his t-shirt and sniffs it, imagining how he would have smelled. The two soon leave to meet Nathan's mom, and upon arrival, Ingrid persuades Nathan not to leave and says the girl he loves will be there, referring to herself after she uploads herself. Nora stands behind, and Nathan agrees with Ingrid's statement, all the while thinking about Nora, and decides to go back. Ingrid and Nathan's mom get into an argument as to who will carry Nathan's hard drive, and Nora intervenes and hands Ingrid the drive. But as they walk out, a shady-looking man snatches the drive from Ingrid and hurls it in a fountain. Ingrid cries and goes into the water, while Nora tells Nathan's mother he is safe as she had switched the drive with a broken one. Nathan arrives at Lakeview and Nora appears before him and hugs him. Nathan raises how they parted on such awkward note, but Nora clarifies that it was Lucy who used her avatar when she was suspended, but Ingrid's recommendation revoked her suspension. Now that she is back, she asks Nathan to speak to Ingrid first before confessing his feelings to her. There was a new update coming to Lakeview, and the uploads are awaiting a celebration. However, Nathan is tense as he musters up the courage to break up with Ingrid. He is also exploring different options and tries calling Jamie for help. When Jamie finally answers, he confesses that he has been avoiding Nathan because he slept with Ingrid. Nevertheless, Nathan forgives him and decides to move to 2 gig status. At Nora's office, the employees are briefed about the update and instructed that the uploads need to be asleep while updating. After the meeting, they all get busy with party preparations. Lucy tries to make Nora confess her feelings for Nathan so she can fire her, but Nora asserts that Byron is her boyfriend. When Ingrid learns about Nathan moving to 2 gigs, she shows up and tries to win him back by increasing his allowance, but Nathan refuses. However, when Ingrid accidentally utters something that indicates foul play, she disappears to avoid answering any of his questions. At the party, Nora brings Byron as a distraction and keeps an eye on Nathan. Once Lucy leaves to get more drinks, Nora visits Nathan and tells him about a loophole in the update. She asks him to stay awake during the update so that all deleted memories are restored. Back at her home, Ingrid cries in front of her father and shouts that she got dumped. She yells that she was the one who changed Nathan's car settings to protect the occupant after overhearing what her father was up to. Later that night, all the uploads are put to sleep before the update starts. Nora sneaks back into the office and wakes Nathan up, and they share their first kiss. As she returns, she is faced with a difficult choice, as she chooses to erase all of Nathan's memories of Lakeview, including of hers, as she feels the restoration of his human memories is the priority, and the truth is more important. Finally, the update is done, and the uploads wake up to a new and improved Lakeview. Nathan has all his corrupted memories back, and he remembers his fight with Jamie. It is revealed that Ingrid's father was involved, and Jamie and Nathan had rejected his business offer. Later, Nathan visited Ingrid's house, where he agreed to sell Beyond to her father without Jamie's involvement for a much higher price. Nathan subtly wakes up, and Nora tries to remind him of his time in Lakeview, but Nathan seems to have forgotten everything about Nora and Lakeview. He even calls Nora's attitude depressing, and Nora says it is going to be like that for a while, as she is devastated after losing the love of her life. While keeping it together, she starts working on Nathan's avatar and comes across his memories where he betrayed Jamie, which upsets her. In Lakeview, Nathan reveals he remembers everything about Nora and was only pretending because he feels guilty after learning the truth once his memories were back. Nathan moves to 2 gig and is finally independent. There, he tries calling Nora, but she hangs up on him as she is in no mood to talk to him. But eventually, she VRs him, and Nathan confesses he remembers everything about her and that he has made some horrible choices for his family's financial stability. However, Nora tells him that she fears she might be subjugated to a similar betrayal as he did with Jamie. While she is busy on a call, someone sneaks into her apartment and tries to kill her. A message on her phone alerts her of her door opening, and seeing the man's reflection behind her makes her jump out of the window. Nathan helps Nora using the code exposure tool that Nora had once gifted him and guides her to an elevator. Once the man gets in the adjoining elevator, Nathan hacks into it and uses it to kill him. After the ordeal, Nathan isn't left with much of his 2 gig memory. He gets a call from Nora, and he uses the voice-only message due to insufficient memory. Nora tells him that after talking with her dad, they have concluded that Nathan is not the bad guy, and they need to uncover the conspiracy. Until then, they cannot let their guard down as they are in danger. She also says she doesn't want to walk away because she loves him, but Nathan doesn't say it back or respond because his memory is over, and he has frozen. Only a tear trickles down his cheek in response. The next day, Nora leaves with Byron on a weekend getaway, upset that Nathan ignored her. As for Nathan, he is given 1 gig by Ingrid, and as soon as he unfreezes, Ingrid tells him that she uploaded herself for him, making Nathan angry, and he uses the entire gig, freezing again. Ingrid gets worried and calls for tech support as the lights go off.